Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the media imploding because I know you guys love it when we talk about the media imploding. And we got a couple of stories today. One is Vox is laying a bunch of people off.
Yep.
Two is The Verge, which is part of Vox.
It's just, I say it's all part of Vox, but yes.
They're going behind a paywall because they have to survive. And the third one's very surprising. The owner of the LA Times is going to put a bias meter on articles beginning next year.
Oh, that is interesting.
So let's
you mean we got to look at both sides of the story, or
look at both sides of the story,
or maybe we should just report the truth? I mean, what a concept.
Yeah, you know, like 20 years ago, you didn't need a bias meter. It's just the news was kind of the news, and opinion was opinion, and we had
yes,
to divide
it was clearly marked between the two. Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. This is definitely end stage legacy media. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishminus.com. You can join the Reef. You can join our Plus Club. Get exclusive content you won't get on YouTube. And we also have a bunch of new merch in. You guys have been buying the crap, buying the feces out of these mugs.
I thought you were calling the mugs crap.
No, these mugs are great. We actually got our samples in today, and the mugs are great.
They are very nice. They're very nice.
And if you go out to my Twitter, I think I posted pictures of some of this stuff. So, yeah, very high quality stuff. Thank you very much for the support. You can also go out to clownfishtv.locals.com if you want to support us out on Locals instead. So where do we want to start? We want to start with the layoffs.
Yeah, we can get get the bad news out of the way, but depends who you ask. It could all be bad news.
Depends on who you ask. Yeah, so Vox Media, which has been struggling for a very long time. Remember, this company was worth like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Was it though?
Or billions of dollars.
Though?
Valuation. The valuation of this company was very, very high, and I think this is the one that Disney even lost like $400 million on. Vox, because all this stuff is crumbling.
Yeah.
So this comes from Business Insider. Vox is laying off staff as part of a reorganization. Here's the memo outlining the changes. Vox just cut an unspecified number of staff and reorganized its lifestyle brands. The CEO said the company was responding to constant change in the media business. Constant change. Thrillist is going to be operated by Eater. They have so many
really?
Yeah. So yeah, they just cut a bunch of staff across lifestyle brands.
They're cutting staff, and then they're combining, and then Paywall and Verge. Wow, that's interesting.
Yep, the parent of New York Magazine, Vox, The Verge, and other popular media brands, last laid off employees a year ago when it cut 4% of staff.
Okay.
This is a bigger layoff, my understanding, and I think this is in response to the advertising landscape.
It is not good.
It is really not good. We had to lay people off from our blogs as well. But it's not just the advertising. It's a 1-2 punch because Google is making it very, very hard to find websites now. And in the case of Vox and The Verge and all the other shit that they own, people don't trust them anymore. So they don't even go to websites anymore, right? So here's the memo. Today we're implementing role eliminations and organizational changes across our lifestyle brands, product and media production, technology.
So Thrillist, PS, and Eater, they're gonna have eliminations there too.
Yeah. So they're also gonna have eliminations in marketing, and they said, product and the media production and technology organization. All affected employees have been notified and are receiving transition support. Each of our brands faces distinct market opportunities and challenges. As you know, the pace of change is accelerating for media. And it's essential to our success that we continuously evaluate how and where we invest to serve our audience and best advance the long-term health of our business.
Translation, AI is coming, is eating our lunch. We're not being found in Google like we used to be. We're not getting the money from ads like we used to get. So in order for the rest of the people to survive, we have to cut you all off.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's basically what it means.
And I think we're going to see a lot of this. I think we're going to see next year, I really do think we might see the end of Kotaku. Or at least Kotaku as we've known it. It seems like they're trying to pivot to be a little more fair now, but I think it's too late. I think people just in general don't go to these websites, and Google's making it very hard to find these websites. Google's no longer a search engine. Google is basically a shopping site that answers your questions. That's
This
what
next
they are.
part is weird, especially when you're getting to Thrillist. Okay, so talk about how audiences are interacting with our brands is changing, so they have to adapt, meaning people aren't coming there as often.
Right.
Thrillist will be operated by Eater on a similar model to Punch, leveraging shared leadership and resources. PS will concentrate on its extensive footprint across social and video platforms with an even stronger emphasis on shopping. So
Okay.
referral links.
So like BuzzFeed too. They're going to do like the tasty chips or whatever.
Thrillist is part of Eater. Eater is reorganizing its city's coverage into regional model in order to most efficiently serve its audience needs.
What? Okay.
And the product and media production technology organizations are being restructured to meet the current needs. But you're not saying what that means. But I'm just like, it's weird. So now Thrillist is going to be part of Eater, but Eater is supposed to do regional models.
Yeah,
So I'm very confused now.
That is kind of weird. Throughout our history, we've led the digital media landscape because we've been willing to adapt and evolve as technology and the way people consume content change. These actions, while difficult, are consistent with our strategic priority to deepen audience connection. Oh my God, just stop. Just stop. They basically said...
No one's watching them. They're trying to get people to watch.
No, they said, yeah, this year we're going to continue to invest in our businesses where we see the clearest opportunities. Editorial and user experiences that build loyal, direct audiences, high-value advertising propositions based on unique intellectual property.
Bullshit.
This right here, leading multimedia productions like we're building with the Vox Media Podcast Network.
Oh, good luck with that one. You have to have people want to listen to you first.
Very saturated. And consumer direct businesses to diversify revenue streams and grow recurring revenue. You know, the people that you laid off, they don't give a shit about any of this, right? You know that, right? Like when you lay them off, when you get rid of them, they're not like, yeah, I completely get it. I completely understand. It's for the good of the business. Yeah, I'm okay with that. No, they're like, oh my God, I just got fired before Christmas.
Right, because they don't own your business. They don't
give a
benefit
shit.
from it.
They're not paid to care.
Yeah,
You know?
and then
It's like,
the consumer-directed business to diversify means they're going to start selling shit.
yes, because they're looking at, I think, what BuzzFeed's doing with, the Tasty and was Hot Ones then? I don't know who Hot Ones is, but like you're seeing all these like brands now, and we saw the Dodo dog clothes the other day at Walmart.
Oh, really? I didn't know
was
about
like,
that.
What? Like, but the thing is, nobody's going to care about this shit in like 5 years. This is where it ends. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to remember the names of most of these websites. They just don't. So then the other thing they're doing with The Verge is they're going to paywall it. Mm-hmm. And this is coming from a Semaphore, which is a for media by media website. The Verge raises a partial paywall. It's a tragedy that garbage is free and news is behind paywalls. Well, remember when they started paywalling X and they started paywalling Substack and they were screeching about that?
Well, I'm just thinking even beyond that. Remember when we were younger and if you wanted news, you had to buy the paper
subscribe to cable.
Yes, pay for the networks.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
So, Vox Media's technology-focused site, The Verge, announced Tuesday it was rolling out its first site-wide subscription service, putting content behind paywalls. As Semaphore first reported on Sunday, The Verge is going to charge $7 a month or $50 a year for comprehensive access to the site, as well as their already paywalled newsletters, command line, and notepad.
Who's going to pay $50 a year for Verge?
Well, the problem is you can't put the genie back in the bottle, right? It's very hard to do that. Like, once you offer all of your content for free, you ask people to pay for it, they're not going to want to pay for it.
They don't even want to do the whole turn your ad blocker off. I'm not saying that, they're right or wrong for doing that. I'm just saying that, you guys have set the model to be free this. You can't go back to being like buy our paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going to impact a lot of people that way because everybody's used to free and I don't think they're going to accept anything but free. And a lot of people are willing to step in and give you free, or you can go to like YouTube and watch for free.
Yeah, and even that's getting harder and harder to do. And it's interesting because a lot of stuff he says here, we've run into this ourselves. We have people that we know, they have run websites for a long time. They've run into these same issues. And basically, we're going back to having to pay for content on the internet. I mean, that's how it used to be. I mean, it used to be if you wanted to be like a subscriber to a forum or something, you would have to pay a couple bucks a month to do that. And then everything became ad supported. Now the ad network crap is all drying up. So the CEO said, or the editor-in-chief rather, he said that The Verge is already the most popular homepage across all of Vox's sites.
Vox's sites. Okay.
Vox's sites, and much of its core audience has been willing to deeply engage with the publication's work. Does that mean pay? We've always felt really strongly that The Verge needs to report on these companies from outside of them. And the more the media gets sucked into platforms owned by Google and Meta and Apple and whatever else, the harder it is to do that work.
Interesting. That is interesting because they're the ones that Google is like, throttling sites and the ad revenue is drying up. And then basically these places want to control. If you get on their site, they want to control that you stay on the site and don't leave the sites, Yeah. So that's exactly what we're running into.
We're not chasing platform traffic. We're not chasing social video views. We're not doing sponsored content to make our business go like everyone else is forced to do. If you want to go play in those games, you have no choice but to do sponsor integrations. That's because the ad rates are terrible. That's just how those businesses work. We won't do it. We sell our ethics policy. And we think we have an audience that we think
you do.
We think we have an audience that wants us to keep doing it and will pay for it.
I don't think you do.
I would say good luck with that. And I'm not saying it's impossible because there are a lot of people that are doing, like independent journalists are doing well with Substack.
Yeah.
But
the problem is what their target audience is the people that won't pay.
They won't pay for shit.
I'm just telling you now.
No, they're not going to pay for
likely
shit.
not going to pay.
But you're seeing this all over the place now. Like every website you go to, turn off your ad blocker and pay us.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to turn off an ad blocker, it'd be fair. I mean, it sucks that they have so many ads slammed on there, but they're doing it because they don't have a choice. They really don't. It's because everything has gotten so, the profits are so slim that they want to stay in business at all. You need to be paying for it or seeing the ads.
Yeah. So the real question is, are people going to pay for their news, right?
Well, I don't think they're going to pay for Vox because the audience they have, I think, aren't ones that would pay.
This is funny, though. I think it's a tragedy that garbage is free and the news is behind paywalls. I don't want to make it worse. We need The Verge. We need The Verge. So, according to him, yeah, he needs his job. So we're seeing more of these sites go behind paywalls. We're seeing more of them lay people off. We're seeing more of them shut down. We're seeing more of them sell. I mean, MSNBC and CNN are in big, big trouble. And I wonder how many people are just like noping out of the news altogether because they're like, it is biased and it's garbage and it's, it makes me upset. It makes my blood boil just reading the newspaper now. It used to be that, people would read the newspaper, see what's going on, either start their day or at the end of the day or whatever. And now it's like you read the newspaper or the websites or whatever and to get angry.
Yeah,
right?
And I think that people want to, I think across the board, more so on one side than the other. They want to be in that. They want people who are going to repeat back what they want to hear. And I think people need to learn that sometimes the truth isn't what you want to hear and that we need to be told more of the truth, so people can learn to adapt to, this is what the facts are, not what I want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the LA Times. This is the same newspaper / website that got in big trouble because, or at least the CEO got in trouble from his employees because he said, hey, we're not going to endorse a political candidate this election cycle. Now he's saying, hey, we're going to put a biasometer on.
Yeah, well,
the news.
good.
This is Patrick Soon Xiong saying that his team is building a product where the reader can press a button and get both sides of the story. Wow,
that's a refreshing change.
That's not going to go over well in LA, is it?
No. Oh, well.
Yeah, so this is already a thing. If you guys, I know we've done sponsored videos from Ground News, and they kind of do that too. They have like a bias meter on there, and they show you like what the leanings are of the website, so what angle you're going to get. But yeah, the idea is that it sounds like it'll be a module that presents multiple viewpoints on a particular news item, as well as allow some version of comments to be integrated, and it marks the latest signal from the billionaire that he plans to reshape the Times as the second Trump administration gears up and after the exits of multiple edit board members following the endorsement flap.
Well, it's interesting to me is what it sounds like to me is everybody knows that Trump's going to have things investigated for, bias and for,
right.
shadow banning people and stuff. And he's like, oh, shit. Oh, look, guys, I'm putting this bias meter in. I'm working with you. Please don't, come at me, bro. Because what it kind of reminds me of, like, because the LA Times, let's be honest, I'm sure they did some of that crap.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
I'm not, I can't
sure
prove it, in my opinion. They did that crap. So I'm sure he's like, oh shit, what do we do?
And then we're looking at Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, and he's like, yeah, man, President Trump, I want to help you make sure there's no bias in the media. I'm like, bitch, Facebook was like one of the biggest perpetrators of censorship, especially during the pandemic. Like, you weren't allowed to say anything.
We know Twitter was. That's all come out.
Absolutely, yeah. Twitter and Facebook were horrible. YouTube, actually, I mean, for as many faults as YouTube has, they were actually more free than I think the other platforms were. But Facebook, like, you got banned from our home.
Yes.
Like, one of our business
Pirates
pages.
and Princesses. I got banned, and I'll tell you why.
She was an admin. She got banned because...
I got banned because some little shit was on there, and he kept harassing, and I told him to stop being a troll. And because I said troll, that violated Facebook's terms of service, and I got banned. And then they did turn it back on, but they never let me... I'm not allowed to be an admin on there anymore because...
On her own site. She's not allowed to be an admin.
On my own site.
Yeah.
Because somebody who was deliberately going out of their way to be harassing, I called them a troll, and they reported it.
Yeah, and we had a bunch of people like coming in, like flagging stuff, and I brought it up because we had our own sales rep there when we were like, actually spending money on Facebook back in the day, and I said, hey, we're not spending money until you fix this. And he got pissy with me. He got really pissy with me. I remember, and I'm like, yeah, well, fuck you. It's like, I mean, why would we boost our post why would we invest anything into Facebook? When you could take it away from us at any point in time.
Plus, you can see if you watched what happened, you can see that this person was.
Yeah, they only watch.
Well, you should have banned them. I'm like, you make it really hard to ban people. It's like really convoluted.
Yeah, so I mean, for Zuckerberg to say that he wants to be part of the solution is laughable.
Yeah, they were the ones that were ground zero for the fact checkers that were like from Twitter.
Yeah, fact checkers, and they would do that. Like, you put a post up and you make a joke about something, and they would put a fact check little blurb at the bottom. Well, hell, YouTube was doing that. We did a podcast talking about aliens.
Oh yeah, aliens.
And we made a joke. We made a joke about lizard people.
Oh no, I already get one on this too.
Well, but then they put a stupid little community note thing at the bottom of it, like, this is a conspiracy theory. I'm like,
we were joking about it.
We were joking about it. We made a joke. I mean, come on. So if you talk about the old show from the 80s, if you talk about are you going to get getting this like, this is a fictional depiction of potential reptile aliens taking over the world. That's not actually true. So this is interesting. He said, take news or opinions, and you have a bias meter, whether news or opinion, more like the opinion, the voices. You have a bias meter so somebody could understand as a reader that the source of the article has some level of bias. Oh, God, I would love for that to be on every gaming news website out there. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like,
would be.
Hates gamers, likes gamers and hates gamers. There's a little meter right there.
Oh, this one. What we need to do is not have what we call confirmation bias. No shit, that's what I just been saying.
Yeah.
And then that story automatically, the reader can press a button and get both sides of the exact same story based on that story, and then give comments. Now, I'm giving you some little breaking news here, but this is what we're currently building behind the scenes. I'm hoping that by January we can launch this.
Yeah, they do have, like I said, ground news does do that right now. But it's going to be interesting if we have more media sites to bolster their own credibility if they actually do have the bias meter. But what's going to happen, right? It's whoever's running it's going to be like, no, I'm totally a centrist. Right? Calling for communism to overtake the U.S. Yeah, I'm totally a centrist.
I think it's really hard to be a centrist anymore. I mean, I think most people are in the middle, but you lean left and lean right.
You try to be. You try to be.
But the media and Hollywood and circumstances have pushed people, I think, more divided by each side than it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's not because people wanted it to be. I think it's because the goalpost moved, for one, and behavior pushed people. Like, they got sick and tired of behavior out of the party, whatever side it is, that they were represented by or they felt like they were represented to. And they just either got pushed the other way or they got pushed more towards the way they support because of bad behavior. Quite frankly, I think a lot of people got pushed to the right. I think that a lot of Democrats changed to Republican to vote Republican or voted Republican in the last election, which is why Trump won, because the Democrats and the far, far left and Hollywood and the media have been such batshit morons that the majority of normal people, which make up most of the voters, can see this and they're like, hell no. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's like even people that were, mostly apolitical. I mean, we were mostly apolitical, and now you can't talk about pop culture or technology or anything without dragging politics into it. It used to be that there was definitely a separation, like a separation of church and state, but there was a separation of politics and business. And yeah, sometimes they would cross over, but you could talk about a business, or you could talk about movies, or you could talk without dragging politics into it. Now it's like at the forefront of every discussion because people are so pickled with their political beliefs or ideologies, and it does feel almost like a religious war on some level, and it's really freaking weird. Like I mean, the last couple of years, I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. Like everybody, we talk about it all the time. People used to vote for whatever party, and nobody cared. They're like, "Hey, did you go vote today? Oh yeah, you got your little sticker. Okay, cool, whatever."
Yeah,
I don't give a crap.
But now, I mean, back to the point of this: the media, because of what's been going on, not just because of the election, but because of what Google has changed things in the last year, are having to lay off a bunch of people to try to stay in business, try to pivot onto everything they do, because it's no longer feasible, and it's been feasible for years and years, but everything got flipped upside down this year. I mostly blame Google, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here, guys. But yeah, this is going to continue. I think the implosion of legacy media, and the ones that are going to survive are going to be the ones that can pivot to capture the largest audience possible. And I think the election absolutely made people aware that the right is bigger than they thought it was. It's not just like the alt-right, the underground, the small but vocal minority. It's like no, there's quite a few, and they've got money, and if you want it, you need to shut the hell up about calling them Nazis and stuff. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.